Hello there, my name is Mike Campbell, Professor Mike Campbell, a visiting professor at the University of Durham currently, and someone who spent a lot of time working internationally and nationally on this important field of workforce development, including how young people can get into work and do well in their careers.
So can you tell us a little bit about what you think medium-sized cities can do to effectively engage employers in this debate?
Well, I think the first thing is that it's actually great being a medium-sized city in this regard because it's relatively straightforward compared to rural areas or very big cities to engage employers, because the key thing about engagement, or at least the first step for engagement as I see it, is actually having a good relationship with employers and getting to know them and understanding their needs. So that's more straightforward, though not simple, in medium-sized cities, perhaps more than in other sorts of places.
Okay, and how do you think cities and their stakeholders can effectively broker links between young people, for example, or unemployed people more generically, and the world of work?
Well, I think it's an absolutely central issue. I think the first thing that people need to do, that all the parties need to do, is to agree on, broadly speaking, that there is an issue and that something needs to be done about it. If there's no agreement about, if you like, the terms of reference, then no amount of building bridges and forms of engagement between business and education and young people and other stakeholders will actually work, because there won't be any, if you like, common understanding and common purpose. So I'd say that's the first thing, to get agreement on all of that as clearly as possible. The second thing I think they need to do is, if you like, build a business case. That is to say, to ensure that employers, in language and terms they understand, get the message of whatever it is, workforce development or employing young people, or trying to develop more quality jobs or whatever. It's very important that providers of education and training and local authority economic development departments and so on actually present what it is they want to do to employers in a way that employers understand and get the message. And then I think the other thing that needs to be done at the level of the city, as it were, is to somehow find innovative ways of influencing employer behaviour. It's not, in my view, a question just of meeting employer needs. That's terribly important, but also in many places, particularly those that are experiencing high levels of unemployment or decline or slow growth or structural change, some employers need to be challenged, as it were, to raise their game, as it were, to be more ambitious, to be more thoughtful, and that means engaging with employers on things outside the field of that immediately appears to be about education or training or skills or employment, and that is their business strategies, how they go about doing their business, and how they could do things better. Not that local authorities know better than businesses how to do that, but I think it's a question of having a dialogue and how raising, for example, skill levels can help businesses be more successful in the future.
Hi, my name is Lena Juttal. I work for the Swedish Association of Local Authorities and Regions. That's an employer organisation for all local authorities and regions, but also a member organisation that protects the interests of our members.
Okay, could you tell me a little bit about some of the work that you do to facilitate employment opportunities for young people?
Well, our members are one of the biggest employers in Sweden. All in all, we employ about 20% of the workforce. So, of course, finding jobs for young people and opportunities for young people to join our working in our sector is very important to us. And we've started a big campaign called Sweden's Most Important Jobs that aims to find and distribute facts about the jobs in our sector. And we're making prognosis on how many people we're going to need to hire in the welfare sector over the next 10 or 20 years. We're also providing tools for our members as employers to market themselves basically as employers, but also to inform the public and most importantly then young people about what jobs you can have in the public sector. That could be nurses and teachers and caretakers, but also engineers and gardeners and all sorts of professions.
Thank you. Why have you sort of chosen that work? What's been the motivation behind it?
As in many European countries, we're facing a big shift of generations on the Swedish labour market. So we are aiming on hiring about 400,000 people the upcoming years, which is more or less half of the workforce working in the welfare sector today. So we really need to reach out to young people and maybe newly arrived Swedes to inform about our sectors and the job opportunities and what education you should aim for if you want to work in the public sector in Sweden. It's one of our most important issues at the moment, I would say.
And finally, what do you think is the biggest benefit to the employers for that project?
We need competent people. So people need to know competent people need to know about us as employers.
Yes, my name is Linda Förare and I work at Swedbank with marketing and communications in the middle region, one of 6 regions in Swedbank.
Thank you. And could you tell me a little bit about the work that you're doing with young people, please?
Yes, the work we're doing with young people is called Young Jobs, and we started in 2009, and we basically have a good contact with the Employment Service Centre in Sweden, and we invite young people that are unemployed to come to our branches with an internship for 3 months.
And can you tell me a little bit about your motivations as an employer for doing this and what the business benefits are?
Yeah, we started, so I said we started in 2009, but Swedbank has always been cared for the well-being of the society. We founded this bank in 1820, I don't know how to say it in English,
that's right.
but, and since then we've made contributions to a sustainable society in different ways. And in around then 2009 we wanted to find a more modern way in contributing to sustainable society, and Young Jobs was a way to deal with the youth unemployment in Sweden, and we thought that we are a big organization, a big employer in Sweden, and we can contribute in a more active way to young people having the experience, the references, and that important line in the CV that you need to be able to get a job later on.
And the business benefits?
The business benefits are many. There are even more values created by Young Jobs than we expected from the beginning, I think. It creates more new diversity, more new perspectives. We have proud employees, which means also that when they talk about Young Jobs, our clients become proud of being a part of this kind of, be a customer in this bank that provides this to sustainable society.
My name is Anneli, Annie, an English way to say it. I work at the Swedish Mapping and Cadastral Authority. I'm a school ambassador and I work with young people and give them advice about education.
So why do you think it is important for employers to have that kind of dialogue with young people?
It's really important to prepare our young, so when they get out on the work market, they are prepared to work, to know what to do, to behave in the way that we need them to, and so that they feel comfortable and like it also.
What are the main challenges, do you think, in terms of the sort of gap between employers and young people, for employing young people?
The gap, I believe, around where I come from, it's young people don't get told where the jobs are at. They get counseled to do things they want to do a lot, not thinking about where the work is. So then they get an education and then they don't get a job because the jobs are in other educations. So there's a distortion on the market. So I would like colleges to have all the educations, but where there are no work, the classes should be a lot smaller.
Okay. And what do you think the main benefits are for you as an organisation? The work that you're doing with young people, what are the benefits?
It's really important they know that we exist, because when they are going to choose careers, they have to know what lies ahead of them, so they have more choices, because it's easy to choose the most known areas of work, and then all the others lacks the confidence of young people. We need them in all our branches.